Hey guys, sorry my video got cut off, but I'll keep going here. So Whitney from the Holiday Homestead, we're talking about companion planting. And so the rest of what I was going to say was when I'm companion planting, I'm trying to kind of use both plants to not necessarily compete with each other, but hopefully kind of benefit each other. And I will say with the corn, underplanting watermelon under it does create like a little kind of micro system for or micro climate for the watermelon, because watermelon do enjoy lots of sunlight, lots of heat, but they also can get very stressed from too much heat and too much sun. So they're a pretty tender plant, and so I found I had a lot of luck with having the watermelon underplanted with the corn, so that the corn gives the watermelon a little bit of shade towards the end of the day, and that really helps the watermelon plant to not get too stressed out with 12, 14 hours of just sunlight. So so there's that. And then sunflowers I've used with corn to just really be a big stop sign for pollinators. We're up in the mountains, the Sierra Nevada foothills, and we get a decent amount of pollinators, but that's because we have a lot of wildflowers and wild areas around us. If you don't have a lot of wildflowers or fields and all that kind of stuff that kind of attracts the natural pollinators, then you might have to kind of draw them in a little bit more. And sunflowers are great for that. They're this big, tall, come pollinate me sign that birds can see, or pollinators and bees and flies, etc., and moths can see for, you know, miles. It's great. They're wonderful. So I plant them every year in kind of very high visibility areas, like up on like my hillside where I plant a lot of my melons. I'll do sunflowers in a big row. Just always make sure to plant them um, towards the back of your garden so that they're not shading other plants behind them, unless you want shade. Unless you have something that's kind of tender and needs a little bit more shade, then they're great for that too. But just be mindful of the fact they will shade parts of your garden. And like I said, peas, gosh, I plant them with just about everything. Anywhere there's like a little fence or like a little place where I can put up a trellis, I will plant peas next to mostly my cool weather crops, like the cabbage, cauliflower, and kale, the Brussels sprouts and broccoli, Swiss chard, just to give that soil a little bit more nitrogen fixation in it, and it really does affect the yield. It helps quite a bit. Um, then also, gosh, what else? There's, well, like I said, bush beans, pole beans, especially bush beans, because they're just so easy to just throw it anywhere. And generally speaking, in the number of the types of plants you want to be eating, generally speaking, all of them will benefit from more nitrogen rather than less. And especially some like green peppers, corn, um, some melons really like a lot of nitrogen. And even if they're not nitrogen needing, they just won't be deficient in them if they have beans nearby. And so I definitely co-plant beans quite a bit. The bush beans are the easiest ones. You don't have to trellis them. They just, pop up and grow. Um, I'm actually trying to work in soybeans into my companion planting now. I've always grown them on their own, but they are a legume, so they will fix nitrogen. So I'm going to start bringing them more into my bush bean areas and see how that goes. And then as far as like pest deterrents and stuff, I use marigolds just across the board. I know there's a lot of other plants you can use, calendula and thyme and other herbs you can use to deter. Lemongrass also helps. Um, but I kind of stick with one plant that I know how big it's going to get, how much root space it's going to take, kind of its basic needs. And honestly, marigolds are just so easy. They will grow practically anywhere on any kind of marginal space that you have next to a row or on the corner or on the side somewhere. Their root base is pretty small and shallow. They do well even in drought conditions. They kind of, they're sturdy. They'll hold up their own even when it gets hot and dry. Um, but the main thing is I know what they do. They're not going to climb. They're not going to take up too much space. They're not going to get too big. And so I just kind of scatter them wherever I will need them and wherever I have a little bit of space. And they do a great job of keeping a lot of the larvae, I guess moths for the larvae, away, and a lot of pincher bugs and just other little critters that you don't want lingering around your plants. So I just use marigolds, and like I said, I know there's a ton of other types of flowers and other things you can plant with it, but because it's not really something that I am benefiting from, that more the plant is benefiting from it, I really don't want to invest too much time, energy, research, thought to put into it. I really just want to get something, know it works, and just apply it across the board, you know. So that's what I do. And also marigolds, their seeds are really, really easy to collect because they just start in the little, just under the flower, the little, well, I'll show you. This is marigolds dried up from last year, and the seeds are just inside this. So those are marigold seeds. So instead of having to buy them when I'm not even really going to eat them or benefit from them, I just, when the plant is done, I just wait till the next year and grab some of the dried up dead heads off of them, scatter them in, and that's it. And they just kind of make do with whatever I give them. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff you can do with companion planting. It's not just for small areas. I recommend it for large areas, any areas, because you know, it's really using those relationships to your benefit and mimicking nature, which is, I think, what we're all trying to do out here, right? Anyway, so I hope that helps, guys. Sorry it's in two parts. My video got cut off, but hope that helps. Definitely be planting. Oh, and I should tell you, the temperatures today are, let me see here. Temperature today is a high of 77 and a low of 48. So that gives you an idea of when to be putting your tomatoes and your peppers inside the greenhouse. I'm not putting anything outside right now. It is still too chilly and we might get another frost. I haven't seen my ladybugs out yet, so I'm not going to chance it. But I will say planting inside the greenhouse, if you're already going to have that in mind and you're already going to go with it, go ahead. I think, yeah, 77 down to 48. So hope that works. Anyway, happy gardening. Enjoy. Get out. It's awesome. All right. Bye, guys.